I would like to say I'm a stage actor first. That's truly how I started.
So do you feel like with you playing that character, that's when you kind of realize that, hey, I might be actually good at this thing?
When I learned that I can take it there, when I learned that I do know how to cry.
I mean, that goes to say with that phrase, right? There are no small parts, there are only small actors.
I could see myself as a poet.
Really?
Just in the realm of being a performer, you know, what can I offer?
What is one of the main key takeaways that you've gotten from her?
What sticks out always, no matter what, is when she would tell us that no is a vitamin.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the very first episode of Hitting Your Mark. Listen, I am so excited and so grateful to God for this opportunity to happen. This has literally been years in the making, like years that I've sat on this idea, but because I never put a date on it, it's just never happened. Like it's lived in my notes section forever. But today is the day we put feet to the fire and I actually make this happen. So I'm grateful to my team for helping me with this. Super shout out to my boy Asher, who's behind the lens, you know, making me look crispy as always. Shout out to my sister Asia, who's always in the mix, helping me out. And then to you for watching today. I'm super grateful and I really appreciate it. Listen, the title of the show is Hitting Your Mark. And in theater and even in film and television, there are those little marks that are on the ground, and us actors, we've got to hit those marks so we can be in the right light and for the scene to just work. And I feel like it's bigger than a stage direction because sometimes it's like that in life as well. We all have dreams that we aspire to reach and goals that we want to make happen for ourselves. And we have marks that kind of guide us on that journey. And that's what this show is really about. It's going to be me talking to creative people that I know who I believe are definitely hitting their mark. And for this first episode, I think it's kind of obvious who my first guest is going to be, right? Like it can only be him. This young man is an actor. He's a poet. He's a soon-to-be filmmaker, which we'll get into that too. He's a man of God, a man of faith. We go to the same church, so we've connected on that level. But more than all of those things, I am so grateful that over these past couple of years, our bond has grown so I can call this dude my brother. My very first guest on Hitting Your Mark is none other than my brother, my guy, Juvanie Hildreth.
Brethren.
Come on now. Thanks for being on the platform, bro.
Come on, man. Good old intro. Make me feel like somebody.
Yes, sir.
Nah, thank you though, bro. I appreciate you. Episode 1, you know, it's an honor. Like he said, Asia, Asher, all of you guys, I appreciate it. We love the scenery.
Come on now.
Come on, I'm gonna let the man do his thing, though.
Nah, you all good. I love it. I would like to go back to the beginning with us. You know, when people first are introduced to us, they, for one, think that we're brothers.
100%.
Which we are, though. You know, we are brothers. We are blood brothers.
Biological.
Or they think that like we've grown up together, like we've known each other for a long time. But really it hasn't been that long. Like it's been since 2018, right?
2018. Yeah.
2018, yeah.
Yeah, we met on set for a Shakespeare play, Comedy of Errors, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, it was out in Long Beach. I just pulled up to the rehearsal, saw this guy outside. I'm like, cool, you know, went in. And we, like we've said before in the past, we didn't really hit it off that specific year, you know, but, you know, it was all cool, cordial. But then the next year you came around and you did another one. You followed up with us.
Positive Secrets.
Positive Secrets. Yeah, we were so close-knit just as an entire cast, honestly.
Right, yeah. I think we was really all locked in. But me and you, it definitely took a whole different like trajectory.
Yeah. Getting on Asia nerves ever since.
Exactly. Well, that's what brothers do, you know, with they sisters. That's what they do. But that actually, Comedy of Errors was my first play with Doc. But I came to realize that wasn't your first. You had worked with her before that, right?
Oh man, yeah. Dating back to 2013, I want to say, was my introduction dealing with Doc. I had initially needed an elective class. I just chose acting because of my middle school familiarity with it. Right. Dr. Andrews was my teacher, and that was about year 2 that the company Inner City Shakespeare Ensemble had started. So she went from dragging me to the Black History shows that the school put on, any old showcase that we were throwing, all the way into the Shakespeare, which was like a whole new language for me in those early years. But Yeah, so I've done plenty of Shakespeare from there. I would like to say I'm a stage actor first. That's truly how I started.
Yes, sir. Same here,
all
man.
the way into the film side of things, and now writing, like you said, directing, making my own movie.
Come on now, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Don't give them too much. But still, back with Doc though. So was that your introductory to acting in general, or was that just your introductory to Shakespeare?
Dr. Andrews for sure was just Shakespeare.
Okay.
I started off with 12th Night. I was the role of Sebastian.
Nice.
And Antonio was my friend, Thomas at the time. It was fine. You know, it was a role built on like brotherhood, that camaraderie. And we had mentors who would come in and watch the rehearsals, give us notes, actors who were part of AMDA and well, not a part of AMDA, but just well versed in Shakespeare.
Right.
And they would give us little notes, and how they would convey and sort of translate it was by showing us what they really meant in the literature. And that's when I was able to familiarize it, because, oh, okay, they're going through real world problems just like all of us. It's just a different language, different way of speaking.
Exactly.
So when they made it layman's terms like that, I was able to attack it. I was able to get my inflection, my intention behind the lines right, and I was able to coordinate my performance in a way where I actually understood what I was trying to convey, versus reading it from the first table read, sounding confused. Like I'm reading lines and I'm putting different emotions on it. So when you understand that, you're able to bring the emotion to it. But yeah, I appreciated those early Shakespeare moments, growing pains for sure.
Yeah. No, I love that. I'm curious to know, in that time, like you said, when you got introduced with Doc and started to do Shakespeare with her, and she started to pull you in and started doing all these other things, was acting something that you were already into, or what did young Juvie like want to be when he grew up at that time?
1000%, you wasn't telling me I was not gonna be in the NFL playing football professionally.
What? You was about to be a QB, wide receiver? What was it? What
Slot
was the dream?
receiver, of course.
Okay.
You know, number 85, number 12, one of those two. I had it all, a couple Super Bowl rings.
Oh, you had the whole trajectory together.
Yeah.
I love it.
But you know, things don't always go as planned.
So is life.
Yeah. When I got into high school, I actually did away with what I felt was my childish, electives or whatever. I began acting in middle school. Yeah. Followed a girl, you know. In 6th grade, she had acting class. I didn't. So in 7th grade, I had acting class, you know. And then
hey, that's how it goes.
And then I realized, like, oh, I actually like acting, you know. But, you know, it was just acting. This was middle school acting. You know? So let's get serious about football. We're in high school now. We're doing high school things. And then, boom, fast forward, like I said, to 11th grade. I had transferred schools. Dr. Andrews became my teacher and dragged me from here, there. And all of a sudden, I could see myself as an actor now. I'm going out on my own doing things. Yeah. So it's just, like you say, crazy how life works. But yeah, young Juve definitely was doing something athletic. He was definitely not thinking too much about acting.
Yeah. Right. I love that, bro. So yeah, and knowing Doc for years now, I like to say Doc is larger than life. Like she is a big personality. And as somebody who has worked with her over the years, what is one of the main key takeaways that you've gotten from her?
What sticks out always, no matter what, is when she would tell us that no is a vitamin. And that just simply meaning you can't be discouraged when you're hearing no. You and I know, as actors on the audition grind and submitting self-tapes or whatever else, you're gonna get told no a whole lot more times than you're told yes. Yes, sir. You can't let that, you know, we kind of fall in love with certain roles, you know, the audition, you might get a call back, you might fall in role, you see yourself, you know, in this part. You could sensationalize it and fall in love, and you can't get too emotional. You can't get too tied up, because when you hear that no, you don't want your world falling down. You know, what's the next thing? Yeah. You know, you got to trust that what's for you will come to you. You just got to do what you can control. I love how credible she is as a woman, how the success story that she is in my eyes. She's been on Broadway multiple times. You know, she's done countless of her own stories, directed her own things, multiple degrees. And that meant a lot for me as a young actor, looking up to her as a mentor. because you have someone who's done it. You know, they're not speaking on what they think, they're speaking on what they know. That was important for me when I was building my foundation and becoming to see myself as an actor.
Right.
I saw what it took. You know,
exactly. Yeah, no. Doc definitely got a thick resume. You know, thick resume of things that she's done and the people that she knows. Like I'm always shocked that when she says, "Oh, I know the mayor, I know the the governor." I'll be like, "How are you connected with these people?"
You just had tea with him. You just had dinner at his house the other day.
Yeah,
that's Doc though.
Right, exactly. That's Doc. But I love what you said though about like no being a vitamin. And in this game, in this thing of ours, like no is really the main thing that you hear all the time, right? But you have to kind of like take that as a vitamin to, you know, to just do better on your next one.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know for you, has there been a spot in your journey where you heard no, and it was kind of hard to hear that, you know, hear Doc saying that no is a vitamin because this is something that you really wanted?
Yeah, I'll probably say it was an original play written by, shout out to Brandon Rainey. And yeah, it was a play called Feeling Good. I auditioned for the role of Hezekiah. I read the sides for my audition, you know, began to fall in love a little early, too early with the role.
Uh-oh.
You know, I got to feel, you know, I had conversations with him because I was juggling 2 plays.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, can you commit? Can you do it? You know, I'm thinking we're building a relationship. You know, I show up like, yeah, you know, I could do it. And when you just putting in the work and you're showing someone that you're doing it and you're committed and you're taking that time, you know, you expect that instant gratification. You expect that to be rewarded immediately.
Exactly.
But when I didn't get that role of Hezekiah and I was just one of the members in the gang, you know,
gang member one,
contributing to the choreography numbers and, you know, just really a utility guy basically throughout the play with minimal speaking parts. Well, like we said, I took no as a vitamin, you know, and instead I maximized my role that I did have, however small it was.
Right.
You know, and it taught me the importance of contributing to that ensemble, the overall goal, the overall image of the play. They see everybody on stage. Exactly. Everybody has a part, and when you take your part seriously, everybody takes their part seriously. You know, you become serious as a cast. You put out a good product as a cast. Yeah. Because it's very to see that sore thumb sticking out. Who feel like they deserve a bigger part and they're acting like it. They're moving like it. They're not hitting their marks.
There's nothing worse than that, bro. There's nothing worse than that.
Yeah. So, you know, I wasn't that guy. You know, I got long friendships out of that cast, as we do from cast to cast. You know, it was more positive than negative to this day.
Yeah, sure. I love that, bro. And yeah, you put your best foot forward in the role that you did have. And that goes to say with that phrase, right? There are no small parts, there are only small actors. Be so clear. That, you know, if you only gang member number 3, like be the best gang member number 3 in there, you know, do something memorable. I feel like I had a similar story to that. Like not really hearing no, but getting like a lesser role, like kind of like you said, you know, it was kind of my first time really trying to audition for like professional theaters and stuff in LA. And this one theater in Palos Verdes, they were doing the 3 Musketeers. And like the main musketeer in that is D'Artagnan. So I auditioned for that. I got called back for it. So I was excited about that. I got the call back. So I'm like, okay, all right. Yeah. So then I'm in there. I did my scene with I forget the name of the character who's the woman lead in that. But you know, so we did our scene and I'm like, okay, I'm feeling this. All right, they gotta hit me.
Chemistry.
Chemistry is on point, you know, so they gotta see this. So I'm looking for that email and I'm thinking, okay, even if I don't get D'Artagnan, like I'll at least be one of the 3 Musketeers, right? Like the play is called 3 Musketeers. I gotta be one.
It's 3 of them. Come on, it's just one of me.
I gotta be one of them. Boy, I got that email back. I'm looking, I'm like, this character, I ain't never heard of him before. I ain't never heard of this man. I looked through the script, man got like, you know, 2, 3 lines in. I said, hold on.
This is nothing.
I can't work with this. And I remember feeling a little down about that. I'm like, man, I ain't gonna do this. Like, forget this play. And I remember actually talking to my mom about it. I told her, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna do it. And she's like, why not? I'm like, because it's like a small role. Like, it's really nothing to it. She's like, this is a professional theater, right? I'm like, yeah. She's like, are they paying you? I'm like, yeah. And I told her how much. She was like, okay. Like, and how long you gonna be doing this for? I'm like, it'll be like 2 or 3 months. She's like, boy, if you don't just go do that, like, This is your first thing coming out of school, like,
Right out, yeah.
come on now, you green.
You're a baby.
And, yeah,
Sure,
right.
yeah.
But I distinctly remember, like, on the table read, bro, not even like rehearsal, like on the feet, on the table read, I knew, like, oh, I'm dealing with professionals.
Yeah.
I got a little more to put on my resume right now, you know? So
they earned it. They earned it.
they earned this, you know?
Yeah.
So I really think it's really two ways to look at it. Like, you can be, you know, kind of like hating on it, like, oh, they're not even that good. They're not even that talented, right? Why pick them?
Right.
Or you could say, hey, you know, what is it that they are bringing to the table that I can use for my next one?
Yeah.
So it was always lessons to learn in, you know, and hearing those no's, bro.
And being honest with yourself too. You gotta be honest with yourself.
You got to, please don't lie. You played a number of Shakespearean roles and been in Shakespeare plays. What has been your favorite one to play so far?
I'd have to say the role of Othello in Othello.
It's a great one.
Yeah, I did Othello for the first time around 2017, 2018. At the time, the most lines I've ever had to learn in a play. The most dramatic role I've ever had in a play.
Nice.
You know, Othello deals with everything: murder, betrayal. You know, I kind of leaned on the comedy of Shakespeare. You know, we did Twelfth Night, we did Midsummer. It's real easy, you know.
You can bring your personality into that.
That flair, that comedy. Othello was the most serious role I've had to that date. So in the spirit of being honest with myself, it really made me look myself in the mirror as an actor. Like, can you be brought to tears? Can you draw the rage that would lead into manslaughter? You know, can you embody that just as a character and display that on a stage? You know, can you get to those levels dramatically as an actor, seriously as an actor, emotionally as an actor? So it taught me so many lessons in one. Long story short, that's why that experience is just my baby.
No, I love that. And like you say, Othello is it's a strong character and you had to raise the stakes. So do you feel like with you playing that character, that's when you kind of realize that, hey, I might be actually good at this thing?
Yeah, when I learned that I can take it there, when I learned that I do know how to cry. Like I didn't usually cry in real life, just day to day. You know, I'm not gonna be crying. That's not an emotion I have to tap into so much unless it's a catastrophe going on. You know, and as actors, we pull from experiences to channel emotions, you know. So it taught me how to use those experience traumas, you know, whatever you use to channel the emotion necessary to convey the scene properly. So when I learned just technically, I can execute in this way, I can do this. You know, it allowed me to realize, oh yeah, I am getting in my bag as an actor.
I'm in my Duffy.
I do got a little sad bag, a little dramatic bag.
Come on, we're not just one note actors.
It's like not just giggles all the time.
Yeah, we can do some different stuff. I love that. But you're actually blessed to take that play, and then you guys did a short film out of it, Iago, right?
Yes,
what was the process like for you taking it from doing the stage play and then doing it in a film?
That process was good. That was my first time really on set with something super serious like that. But yeah, the process was interesting. I got, you know how you have set days and just report in the wardrobe, the makeup, it was heavily invested in. Like that was my first taste of a real movie set. You know, apple boxes on the ground, getting the heights right, getting what goes into every shot, the locations we have to report to, like the true ins and outs of putting a film together. I got to see it up close. So that process was just amazing to be a part of.
I love that, bro. And I'm grateful that we've got to connect on different projects that I've done in my filmmaking journey. Not just Shakespeare, you know, we've done some other stuff too. My second film, actually, first you were in called Adulting. You were my friend in that. But one of the most significant projects I think that we've worked on together to date, at least, is The Holy Spirit. That was a 4-part series that we did about a young man, my character, who was yearning to get the Holy Spirit and get guidance in his life. And then it came in the form of you as and you were guiding me on that journey.
Yes, sir.
I would love to get your kind of opinion on it, but I feel like the most challenging day, or at least the most challenging time for us to do that was when we did episode 3, Blew It, when my character wants to go out and, Netflix and chill a little bit with the young honey dip. He was guided by it to not do it. But then, of course, as we all do, we think that we got it on ourselves. We go out and do it. But then, we had to have that kind of sit down where I kind of just like broke down to you. Do you feel like that was like a challenging thing for you as well? Because, we are usually kind of like lighthearted and joking, like we said, but to have like a serious scene together, was it, I think, a challenge for you. Do you feel like it was the same for you?
Yeah, and I think that's a specific scenario where if it's another actor, I'm not even thinking twice. But since it was you and our nature, whenever we together, it's just almost a complete opposite.
Right. Yeah.
So it took a lot of a good amount of channeling. Like, let's actually sink into the importance of the moment, the severity of the message that we're trying to get across, how serious it is. But yeah, that 4-part series was good. You kind of put that together. So hats off to you.
Oh man, appreciate it.
Pops.
Well, Pops, that's Pops' story. Pops had the idea of the story that he wanted to do, and we kind of just took it and ran with it. But no, I think that's when I kind of knew that we were both serious about this thing, because like we were both, we're both like lighthearted and jokey. But when it came to that, we kind of really, like it was minimal talking. Like we didn't even talk that much during that scene. We were both really like locked in. Like between takes, like I was just sitting there, just like and you was kind of just sitting there like that too.
You got to.
So that was very different. It was beautiful that we got to, I feel like, experience on that.
I know. I blew it. And I was doing so good, too. I tried. I really tried, but I guess I'm just not strong enough. No, you're not.
You are one of those people that I talked to earlier in this thing about, coming to the creative side and like creating things and like producing your own stuff. But you're always like, no, like I'm just an actor. Just give me the script. I'm gonna pull up, say my lines, and I'm done with it. But now recently you've gotten into the realm of poetry. So I'm curious to know why poetry specifically.
100% just was using it as a muse. I feel like I have a decent enough way with words to formulate poems. And just in that journey of self-evaluation, reflection, etc. In looking for healthy ways to form outlets just for myself personally. I stumbled upon poetry as a viable option. So it was really as simple as that. I had my little 2-second phase where I wanted to be a rapper as a youngster, or and I had old poems, old journals that I could think back to. So it was somewhat in me, but now as an adult, as a real life serious adult, outside of friends, outside of family, outside of confidants and whatnot, just sometimes you gotta lock in with yourself, get right with yourself, whether it's just journaling straight out or in my specific sense, traveling through the things that I've been through and then just making a poem about it. And I actually like it. I could see myself as a poet.
Really?
Just in the realm of being a performer, what can I offer? And it's not just acting.
It's another creative lane that you can dive to. I love that, bro.
Getting lifted, reminiscing how I always had your back, staring at you, seeing history we could never take back. How we shouldn't be together, how I also want you back. How I hurt you, how you hurt me. Thinking back on all of that.
In these early stages of you writing poetry, what have you found to be one of the biggest challenges of writing poetry?
Well, when you're using something as a muse, you kind of get personal. And I'm not, on the surface, I'm not a personal guy. I don't care for people to know my business. I don't care too much about knowing people's business. It's just not my thing.
Right.
So when you're using poems as a muse and they contain personal content, if my aspirations are to be a poet, to post, poetry online, to hit up an open mic and perform, the reality immediately crashes in, like, okay, you're about to tell all these people right now. So the most challenging part, I would say, is maybe in the writing process, initially at least.
Okay.
It was, I don't want to say I tried to dumb down my poems or anything, because I definitely didn't do that. But I did have that thought in my head, like, are you okay with taking this public? Are you okay?
Right.
You know, my past experiences, I take them seriously and personally. So that was a block that I got over it though fairly quickly.
Yeah.
You know,
When you talking about writer's block?
not necessarily writer's block, but just that inhibition to want to put something down on paper because of maybe how personal it is to me.
Oh, gotcha.
But at the
now
end,
you're like, nah, I'm unloading the clip.
It happened to me.
Yeah.
This is my experience.
It's your journey.
You feel me? If I'm gonna write it, I'm gonna write it.
I love it.
And then in addition to that, everything, you know, I say muse, I say personal, blah, blah, blah. But in real life, when you're writing a poem, sometimes you just need a line that rhymes.
Simple as that.
Sometimes the story just sounds good. Sometimes the poem makes you feel good. Sometimes the goal of a poem is to draw out a certain emotion. There's so many different reasons and approaches to poetry. And then on top of that, no one will truly know what my poem is about, what's my business or not. Like, I had to get rational with myself and kind of do away with that thinking quickly.
Yeah, because some of that could be just limiting, right? Like a limiting
100%.
belief that you have is like, oh, let me not put this out because it's too personal, you know. But like, dude, Drake do it all the time. Drake drop names in his songs. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not on that level.
We're not there yet, but you know, but that is something that could limit you, that could stop you from putting stuff out. But you did speak about writer's block though, and I feel like I deal with this sometimes, and many people deal with writer's block. Have you found like a process yet to dealing with that, or is that something that you kind of still struggling with?
The writer's block usually only comes when I'm not focused enough, I find. Like when I'm not focused enough on the topic or doing the necessary research, doing the necessary, you know, whatever that project calls to be. If I'm not meeting that level, I'm gonna have that block. But I find when I increase my preparation or when I do away with the distractions and I say, no, I'm not leaving, I'm not getting up, I'm not doing whatever I'm not eating until I get this scene done, until I get this concept down, until I brainstorm enough, give myself something to come back to. When I structure myself and instill that discipline, that's what helps me with that approach to writer's block. Some things is just tough. Maybe namely my recent short film. I had a small season with writer's block, but more times than not, it's completely born out of me not raising my level of focus high enough.
Gotcha. Yeah, I really do think that is sometimes the root of it. You know, like as creatives, there is nothing that's like, you know, pushing us like a 9 to 5 is, right? To have like deadlines. So sometimes you do got to raise the stakes yourself to get something done. I'm curious to know for you, like now you in the realm of poetry, who are some of your favorite poets right now that are in the game?
I mean, shout out to Renee, who also goes to our church.
Hey, shout out Renee.
You know, she's an up and coming favorite of mine. I like her message. I like how she moves, how she speaks.
Nice.
But one poet who sticks out 100% is a guy by the name of Rudy Francisco. Very captivating poems, captivating titles. You know, I wasn't into poetry when I first started hearing his poems. I stumbled across them on YouTube about 15 years ago or so. But I was just so captivated. You know, I was there. I was feeling the emotion that he was expressing in his poems. I felt like I was in the stories that he was describing. And I just developed an extreme appreciation for his ability to kind of just envelop you into his poem with nothing but words, with nothing but his mannerisms, and just emanating that energy that you could feel, you know? So it's obviously more than words. And so Rudy Francisco is my current answer, 100%. Yeah.
Come on, I love that. So is that something that like you aspire to do really with your poems, to just fully captivate people? Or I think a better question maybe is like, where do you kind of see yourself taking this like poetry thing for real? I know you said earlier that, you know, you could see yourself being a poet, but like, what does that look like to you, you know?
That just looks like having a way with words. I see poetry more so as a tool for myself. And it can be utilized in whatever stream of content, you know? It can be in a short film.
Come on now.
It can, like, I can make a song one day. I just use it as I kind of just want to sharpen my blade, if you will.
I like that.
Because having a way with words works in more ways than just poetry.
Yes, sir.
Content, acting, writing. So, but as of right now, like I say, it's more of a muse.
Yeah.
But I'm transferring the muse era into like, no, let's go to poetry, open mics. Let's get this out. Let's post this. So now I'm in that process.
So like you mentioned, you are gearing up to make a short film here. Yes. So I'm curious to know, why did you choose to take this poem and make this one into a film?
It was born out of a situation somewhat personal to me.
Gotcha.
And since I'm in this era of, writing poetry and all of that, I just decided to marry those two. I felt like it would be easier. I would be more inclined to write about something that I'm going through.
Yeah.
So not only was it a situation that I went to that kind of sparked the background of what, my film is about, but, my character, me in the film, he's on the same journey as me. I leaned on what I'm close to as a way of having a head start, in the writing process.
Yeah.
I still was briefly met with that block, like we said, but locked in, found what concepts, what I want to convey in each scene. And I'm truly, truly proud. I'm glad I just wrote it. That's step one.
Come on,
because like
I'm
we
proud of
say,
you, man.
I never had these aspirations for real.
Right.
Like you said, throw me that script, let me breathe life into it, put out a great product.
And I'm good.
But I've developed an immense appreciation for those who write, because that process is no joke.
It is.
When you're just given the line, okay, I'm gonna do whatever I can with it and try my best. But when you're writing and you're responsible for what every character says, male, female, it's different. I began to understand why there are whole writers' rooms dedicated to this type of thing, to get those different walks of life and opinions and perspectives, gender to gender perspectives, everywhere in between. Because that just helps you convey real life. It helps you portray those things. But yeah, definitely happy. We'll be shooting it very soon.
Come on now. I was just about to say, by the time that this comes out, we would have already filmed it.
We would have
already filmed it. It's already in the can. So I'm sure, your answer to this next question would be different then once we filmed it. But I'd love to know, what have you found to be the kind of like the most challenging thing of this whole like filmmaking process of putting a film together?
What sticks out to me the most is just the constant reminder that you're the engine in this process.
Yes, sir.
Once again, I bring myself when I show up as an actor. But when you're the writer, when you're gonna direct it, when you assemble the cast together, you're responsible for that flow of information. You're responsible for them emails, the communication, the sets that I chose, decorating the sets, getting the shot list together. All of those things, just the background. So just like I had that specific appreciation for the writing process, as of now, what sticks out is the extreme appreciation for everything that it takes.
Big picture.
The big picture, the behind the camera.
Come on.
The outside of the room that the cameras are in. All of that stuff.
Exactly.
It takes people to do it.
Yeah. One thing that, you're going to realize once, like our first day of filming is just like all the questions people got, they're going to be asking you. Like you the person to answer all the questions. Usually on set, you just the actor. So like you just here to do your thing. But like all the questions. Hey, Drew, where should this camera be? Hey, Drew, what should I be wearing? Hey, Drew, what should I be doing over here? Like, so you're going to feel that, and I'm going to just say, welcome to filmmaking.
Thank you.
Welcome to filmmaking. But you got it, bro. I mean, I'm going to be with you along the way. Ash going to be here. So I think it's going to be definitely a beautiful process. Before we wrap this thing up, though, the title of the show is Hitting Your Mark. And, success in everybody's eyes is different. Everybody has a different idea of success or where they see themselves taking their lives. But I'm curious to know for you, Juvanie Hildreth, what does hitting your mark look like?
For Juve, hitting his mark looks like contentment. We're passionate about our creative sides, acting, directing, everything. But in real life, it can be a small part of our lives a lot of time. You know, we're still people, we still have family, we still have our relationship with God, faith, our day-to-day, our 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You know, and everything in between that. So hitting my mark just means by way of, you know, theater, by way of poetry, by way of filmmaking, it just means doing what I love to do. It honestly doesn't have to have a numerical attached to it for me to consider it success. You talked to me about that quote by your boy. You know, I'd rather do a bad film with people I love, or with my friends.
Come on now,
than do a good film with people I hate
that I can't stand.
You know, and that's me. That's my person. That's our personality for real.
Yes, sir.
You know, I want to love the work I do, and I have requirements for myself as a man first. You know, I'm principled as a man. So, you know, I have other endeavors. You know, I'm into massage therapy. You know, I'm going the trade route. So I'll have my means of money that will make me enough money that I'll need. You know, so when it comes to poetry, when it comes to my muses, when it comes to my outlets, I just want to always do something that I want to do. You know, it don't always work like that. But I always want to have pride in the work that I do. I want to have fun, and I want to do it with the people that I love. And that's success right then and there.
Yes, sir. I love that, bro. And everybody don't got that story. Everybody don't get to do the things that they love every day. So I'm definitely grateful to be able to do the things I love. And I'm sure that you're going to be able to do those things too, bro.
Oh, yeah.
So thanks so much for being on the platform, man. Having this conversation is super dope. Before we wrap this up, tell the people how can they connect with you and support what you got going on.
Oh, absolutely. So, you know, I'm Juve. I'll give them 3 accounts. That's OD, but I'll give them 3 accounts.
Oh, boy, got 3 accounts.
A lot going on, yeah. But as I just said, I'm a massage therapist. So my Instagram for my massage therapy page is hands.of.rejuve. That's REJUV. My content page that I'm taking the bull by the horns, and I'll be posting. You'll see my short film information and everything else, regular sketches, content, you know, ideas. That is 105 Vermont.exit. That's that account. And then my regular personal one, which you can, you know, you don't have to know the personal.
Yeah, you do.
All right, you kind of do. That's just _Juvanie, _JUVANIE.
Yes, sir. I'll make sure to link all of those 3 accounts.
All them 17 accounts, make sure you link that.
All of those 45 accounts, I'll be sure to link those in the description. Y'all tap in with Juve, see what he got going on. Appreciate you for being on the platform, my guy. If you enjoyed this conversation, be sure to like this video and also subscribe to the channel so you can see the other episodes that we have coming up. All right, we'll catch you on the next one.
Hit that mark.
Yes, sir.